Hey readers and writers, so at this point you have finished research question 2, finishing up your research. You've also taken a look at your writing from research question 1. Well, today it's going to be time to write about research question 2. So this is essentially pieces of a research paper. Just like pieces of your science fair project are sectioned off, so are the pieces of this project. So today we're doing section 2. So this is the graphic organizer that we use for research question 2. What we're going to be doing is taking the information from that graphic organizer and writing about it based on this question. Who are the producers in this ecosystem? How do they obtain what they need to survive? Now remember, you need an introduction sentence. And if you notice from your writing, I'm looking for you to really give me the main idea and introduce information that you're going to be talking about through the rest of these paragraphs. I need 3 relevant supporting details. They have to make sense. So in this one, really, you're telling me who the producers are. So your details are those producers. Your explanations down here, that's the how did they obtain what they need to survive. So tell me all about them. I need a concluding sentence that sums up our writing. Now, your conclusion is not just even though this ecosystem is far away, it's still pretty cool. That's really not a concluding sentence. You need to be summarizing the pieces that you wrote about throughout your writing, and I'll show you a sample of that. And then finally, I need complete sentences where your errors do not impact my ability to read. They need to be neatly written, not rushed, not sloppy, neatly written, and I need some proper capitalization and spelling. So here's an organizer that I filled out on Antarctica. So this, towards the end of my research, I only ended with 1 blank box here, but I ended up finding out information about lichens, algae, phytoplankton, and hairgrass. How do they obtain energy? Use sunlight to make food, water, melted snow in the summer, nutrients, they get it from air, dust, water, and the substance on which they grow. Other adaptations, they can grow on rocks and grow on just about anything. What do they give back? Animals eat it. And I've got my text evidence there as well. So I'm going to take this entire organizer. If you'd like to read through it, you can feel free to pause now, press play when you're ready. But I'm going to take this organizer and write a paragraph about it based off of this rubric here. So what I need to do, my question, who are the producers in this ecosystem? How do they obtain what they need to survive? It's my introduction. The Antarctic is filled with many producers or living things that make their own food. These producers include lichens, algae, and phytoplankton. Over time, plants in the Antarctic have adapted to their environment in order to obtain the energy, water, and nutrients they need to survive. So I have included pieces of this question. I've introduced what I'm going to be writing about, and I chose for my 3 key details, I chose 1, 2, 3 producers. So paragraph 1. One example of a producer in the Antarctic is lichen. These unique plants use sunlight to make their food and melted snow to provide water. They can obtain their nutrients from the air, dust, water, and even the surface on which they grow. The geography of Antarctica has allowed lichen to adapt and grow on just about any surface, including rocks. Lichen give back to their ecosystem by providing food for other animals, such as small insects, to eat it. So that's it for producers. My key idea is introducing that producer. The rest of it is an explanation. Another example of a producer in the Antarctic is algae. This plant is typically found in a wet environment. It can grow on rocks and even on snow. Algae find the nutrients they need from this wet environment, like melted snow. Algae gets its energy from the sun and produces its own food through photosynthesis. This process also gives oxygen back to the environment. So I'm introducing my producer, and I am explaining everything I have about it. One last example of a producer in the Antarctic is phytoplankton. Phytoplankton is an ocean plant and can be found in polar waters. Phytoplankton uses sunlight to make food and uses ocean water as its main water source. It is a tiny floating plant that can adapt to many parts. It provides food to many other animals, such as zooplankton, krill, and other marine mammals. So, my conclusion. A few unique producers of the Antarctic include lichens, algae, and phytoplankton. These producers have adapted to their environment to obtain energy, water, and nutrients they need to survive. So notice I restated my producers and I restated what they need to survive. So I have summed up this entire paragraph. Usually your conclusion looks pretty similar to what your introduction looks like. Feel free to keep this writing sample up as a model while you write. So it's your turn. You're going to be turning your research question 2 organizer into an introduction to your research project. So not an introduction. So you're turning your research question 2 organizer into a paragraph, multiple paragraphs for your research project. For full credit, you have to include all components of the FPO rubric. Please include in your heading, I need your name, I need the date, and this should actually say RQ2, not RQ1. So make sure that says RQ2. Feel free to leave the rubric up or my writing sample up as you work, and you may flip to tablet mode. Happy writing!